What's up, everybody? Man Cave here, and I usually, you guys are used to now having the tripod mount set up, but I figured for this one I was gonna go ahead and just hold the camera and kind of go over everything. This here, if you strip it down and take the body off first, this was originally the Ultimate Adventure XJ. It has since been stretched in order to fit this 13-inch wheelbase Dodge body. Now, this Dodge body here, me and a buddy of mine on RCC decided that with all the mega mud truck builds and everything going on, why not recreate a scale version of a bounty hole. And I don't know if a lot of you guys that follow me also follow XXX Motorsports, but Chris has got some amazing videos of mega mud trucks and the particular truck that I'm trying to emulate, the Honey Badger Cummins. Now, granted, the Honey Badger is a second gen Dodge and this is a third, obviously. This originally was a not a Losi, but a Raminator 8th scale. I do have all the pieces, parts. I've got the windshield, I've got the headlights, I've got the turn signals. And for this build, I'm using an AX2 2-speed transmission from RC 4-wheel drive with a high-tech HS625 servo with aluminum horn. Punisher shafts, G-made portal axles with aluminum upgrades, knuckles, hubs, carriers, lockouts, 4-link mounts. The front is actually running a 3-link with a Ham Brothers CMS, and we've got, ironically, a 283 cubic inch Chevrolet motor instead of a Hemi. Now I do have a gigantic, and by gigantic I mean it would almost fill the bed of the body up. I've got a 5th scale 5.7 liter Hemi motor, but it would not look scale at all. It looked stupid, so I decided not to go with that. And if you realize these shocks, seen them before, I had to take these off of the Recon 1 G6 because they were just too sharp and causing a drive shaft bind. So I had to step back down to a set of icons that come with the kit, so stock shocks. Now what we're seeing here is, due to my extended drive line, my Punisher shaft is not quite there. So I've got to make new upper and lower links for the rear. And of course that's not set. That's just sitting there. I mean, the shocks will be in a straight up and down position like so. So I just roughly set it in there. But I don't know if I mentioned that powering the AX2 is a VXL 3S from Traxxas. Figure that right there for bounty hole. Now, the rules we're using is basically there are no rules except for when it comes to the hole itself. Since mine is staying 10th scale, since I'm using the G-made portals, and I plan on using either a set of boggers or tractor looking tires, my tire range is going to stay under 6 inches. So to build a scale bounty hole, my hole is going to end up being probably, we both agreed on the length of 10 feet. The maximum depth of my hole is going to be roughly 8 inches at the deepest point, but all other points leading into it are going to be at least enough to cover the tires. Now, as far as width, I'm only going to go maybe 4 inches wider, 4 or 6 inches wider than the overall width of the truck. That way it looks scale. Now, I've got a lot left still to do on this thing. Like I said, I've got to make my uppers and lowers for the rear. I've got to obviously redo or put a new drive shaft in. I need to change the pinion angle up front, which it doesn't look too awful bad up front, but when it was originally hooked up to its wheelbase, it was just ridiculously long, or ridiculously steep. The front one I don't think I'm going to have a problem with. I mean, I've spun the motor. When you turn the shaft, without the exception of the rear shaft hitting the frame, if that wasn't hitting it, this motor spins freely. There's no bind in the shaft whatsoever. So I'm just going to roll with that. And then just, like I said, put a longer shaft on the back, longer links. And try to squeeze probably a 5,000 at least up front on that battery tray. The only other issue that or not even an issue, but idea that I'm kicking around is taking and where the transmission sits. I was thinking about flipping the skid upside down, but then I realized no, that would get in the way of the servo. Thinking about cutting a notch out, since this transmission is wider than the frame, notching out the frame and then putting pieces of tube in place so I can actually lower my skid plate down, or completely eliminating the stock skid and building one from scratch out of steel. That way I can drop it to where this part is sitting inside the frame rail and this part is under, lowering my pinion angles and lowering the center of gravity on the truck. Now, my buddy John, he's using a gigantic 5th scale. It's absolutely ridiculous. It's huge. It's awesome though. Motor on axle. It's going to be interesting to see the two. The way we're going to do it is we're just building them up. We're doing a dual bill thread on RCC. It's called the Bounty Hole Build Off. And when we're done, which I imagine it probably won't be till springtime when we actually shoot the videos for it, we're going to shoot video of both of our rigs going through the bounty holes, and whoever's, I mean, obviously you're going to sink or swim. He's got the advantage, I think, with motor on axle, but where he kind of loses it is weight. It's going to be weighted oddly, and mine, I feel mine has a little bit of an advantage due to the 2 speeds. Now, I haven't tested fully what this truck will do in low gear because I need to make some shift linkages for the transmission, but just to see how low it'll go in 1st gear and what my top end is going to be in 2nd gear. I might have the advantage if I run a set of boggers and be able to kick it from 1st to 2nd gear. Either it's going to help me or it's just going to bury me so deep it's not going to be funny. Me and him have a joke running that we figure it's not going to be who makes it through the hole the fastest, it's who has to make it, who makes it the furthest with the least amount of assistance trying to get it back out. Now, I plan on using the Raptor down there as my recovery vehicle to yank the Dodge out. That one, you all know that rig. It's running the change the tires around on. It's running they're not KM2s, they're the BF Goodrich R35s that come with the Poison Spider Wraith kit. The OT6s weren't doing it, and neither were the TSLs because they kept slinging off the bead. Those ones will actually hold to it. But back to the vehicle at hand, it's actually going to be a really cool build when it's done. I'm going to either make some steel work in the bed, or I'm just going to styrene it and make a actual floor pan. And I've got freaking spiders crawling all over my damn table. Now today I had full intentions. This is just jumping off track a little bit, as you guys know I'm famous for doing. I went to take the Recon 1 out for its first test drive. Well, its first actual trailing video. Got going, and I'll show you what's in my pocket here, because it kind of surprised me. But it's something I should have done to start with, because I knew it was an issue. And hopefully all the parts stayed in my pocket so I can rebuild this. Come on. There it is. The collar slipped off, allowing the pin to come out, and then the shaft fell out, so I lost four-wheel drive. Thought I'd lost the little ball piece that goes inside of the cup that holds the cross pin in it, but after 30 minutes of looking, I felt stupid because when I went to turn the rig off, I don't know how the hell this happened, but this is probably never going to happen again. The little cup part that goes in there, it actually flew up and got stuck to the motor, so it's magnetically held to the motor right now, so it's not missing. And this went missing because I decided to just fool around in two-wheel drive with the camera off. Found it sitting up on the hill that I was on. So obviously I'm going to be rebuilding, and I should have done what I always do. I'm going to go ahead and do it to the back ones too. I'm going to take a dab of Gorilla Super Glue. And for those of you who have had problems with the energy shafts, take this collar piece here where it meets the metal, even if they're brand new in a package. First thing you do before you even put them on a truck, take them out of the package and super glue that to the shaft. That way it doesn't come off, doesn't wobble. But I've dragged this video on long enough, so there you guys go. Hopefully I can replicate the Honey Badger Cummins in a proper style. I do plan on building the brush guard up front, and I've got all the metal stock sitting there for it, so hopefully it'll turn out the way I want it to. Still got some painting to do. Just a little update showing you what I'm working on right now, but I'm going to start getting the G6 down there back into running order, seeing how I had rear wheel drive. But as always, rate, comment, subscribe, share if you like what you see, and thanks for watching. We'll catch you guys next time. Later.